Hey everybody, Derek from Mac Gaming here. Today I bring the top 10 PlayStation 2 games according to Metacritic. Game number 1 is TonyHawk 3. As you guys can see here on screen, the game is running very nice and smooth, looking nice at a resolution of 1440p, and barely using any resources. Game number 2 is Grand Theft Auto 3. We've seen this game previously for the iPad, the iOS version. We also tested it in one of our live events with the Universal app for the XEMU, the Xbox, the original Xbox emulator. And, this game speaks for itself. It's a pretty old game this day and age, but all in all, it's running great, once again at a resolution of 1440p with barely any resources.
In the Navy.
Game number 3, Resident Evil 4. This is a good old classic. They recently announced the remake for this game. I'm really looking forward. It's coming out in March 2023. And, well, we've tried this game on multiple consoles. We tried it for the GameCube. We've tried it on the PlayStation 3, I believe. We tried the version for this on PlayStation 3. And now we're testing it on PlayStation 2. It's running at a nice 2560 by 1792, and it is heating up a bit, the M1 chip, but all in all, great experience, great gameplay, and I think overall it's a fantastic way of revisiting this good old classic. Game number 4 is Metal Gear Solid Sons of Liberty. Now, this game gave the M1 a hard time. As you guys can see, it's the first time I'm seeing the emulator use about 1.5 gigabytes of RAM. And also, as you guys just saw, outside in the rain, the frame rate dropped to around 45 frames per second, despite the fact that I did have to drop the resolution to 720p. Now, this is one of those games that we're going to be looking forward to testing with the M2, see if we can, raise the resolution and, maintain the 60 frames per second. So this is one of those games that we're going to be looking forward to testing. Game number 5 is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. As you guys can see here on screen, it's running at a resolution of 2560 by 1792. And actually, we've tested this game for iOS. We tested it, the remaster version for PlayStation 3. I have a comparison video on that if you want to check it out. And you can see how it compares to the PlayStation 2 version, which actually isn't doing that bad. As you guys can see, it's not using many resources.
Things has changed around here.
CJ, watch your back around here, man.
How I get so bad? I thought this was family's turf.
Yeah, it's Temple's Drive family. We don't roll with them no more. Move it.
Game number 6, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Another great game that we've also tested on the channel. I even did a gameplay live stream with the iOS version. And once again, guys, game is looking great. Buttery smooth at 60 frames per second. Barely heating up or using any resources at all. Grand Theft Auto Vice City, a great classic. Game number 7, Gran Turismo 3. This is one of those games that we've been testing lots of times with the PCSX2 emulator. We weren't really able to get it running at a decent, let's say, resolution and frame rate. However, with one of the updates to the PCSX2 emulator, we were able to get it to run, I think, at 720p or 1080p. You guys can check that out on the channel. We also tested it during live events. And, well, you know, nowhere near as what we're seeing here on screen, 1440p, 60 frames per second. However, I must say that it is, once again, just as Metal Gear Solid 2 is doing, it's pushing the M1 to the limit. Game number 8, Madden NFL 2003. Now, first of all, I want to say that please forgive my poor gameplay. I have no idea of how to play this game. But, you know, it showed up on the list, and other people have really asked me to try the NFL games for the PlayStation 3 emulator. But if you guys remember, we had the issues with all the EA games on that emulator. Like, we weren't able to get any EA game to run. So it's looking nice here at a resolution of 1440p, and you know, despite the fact that it does seem to heat up a little bit the system, we're seeing 70 degrees, and you know, just looking at the rest, RAM, CPU, and all that, it's doing fine. So I guess this game is perfectly playable and enjoyable.
Breaking free, gets rid of it. Nice reception. Archuleta makes the stop at the 47-yard line.
Game number 9, Devil May Cry. Now, this is one of those games that we tested. We tested the remaster version for the PlayStation 3 on the RPCS3 emulator, and that was looking fabulous, I must say, at a resolution of 1080p, but it was looking good. Here, we're emulating the game at a resolution of 2560 by 1792. It is using a lot of GPUs, you guys can see here on screen, and a few weird things did happen. Like, as you guys can see right now, the game stopped for a few seconds, and it usually happened when I hit, like, I don't know, like X or square. I don't really know. I'm not sure if it has to do with the emulation with the game, or, you know, just something not working properly. But all in all, the game is running, you know, fantastic at 60 frames per second, barely using any RAM, and temperatures, you know, 70 degrees, usually what we see with the Ether SX2 emulator. And last but not least, game number 10, TonyHawk ProSkater 4. Well, guys, this game speaks for itself. Resolution 2560 by 1792, using about 1.1 gigabytes of RAM, 60 frames per second, and temperatures around 60 to 70 degrees. Now, guys, if you made it all the way here, I really want to take a minute just to appreciate how everybody is tuning in on these videos. I'm really looking forward to the M2 chip. I'm excited to see how it, you know, handles games, see that performance that we're going to be getting, see if it's actually worth it. And, you know, this is a good starting point just to see, you know, we're getting at least a great idea on how PlayStation 2 is emulating now on the M1 Mac, and we're going to see if the M2 will offer us more performance in this regard, and, you know, especially with other games. So, guys, once again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and as usual, have a great one.